Ghost, Tony D, with the mega micro review, the Marvel Pop. Giant Size X-Men, number 2. Didn't like it. Did not resonate whatsoever. I mean, it's just another one of those, like, one-shot things. They're getting into it with Legion. It's pretty typical. It just wasn't there for me. Hey, if you liked it, let me know, man. Drop me a comment. But yeah, it could be way better, man. They could offer better than that. G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero. Totally dig this series. This is, it's your typical G.I. Joe stuff. I say typical, not in a bad way, but Hama is just killing it with the writing. The pencils totally match the tone of the book. If you're into action books, you don't have to be a G.I. Joe fan or, grew up in that era of toys. You could just be an action fan, and this book will suffice. I totally like it. I like where they're headed with it. You have a certain character that was transformed in issue 317, which happens to be that guy. And they're planning on reviving Serpent Core. I don't know, I'm probably saying it wrong, but yeah. So you're really revolving around that mission, those parameters. Good stuff. If you're an action fan, get on that. Wolverine, Chris Claremont with Tom Riley. This is a reprint, and it is fantastic. This whole thing was good. Totally in it. You don't have to know anything about it, the history. Just, this is a battle between Sabretooth and the X-Men, and it is a great battle. This really displays Sabretooth as a serious threat. I totally loved it. Hardcore X-Men, you may already have read it, but you need to get on that. It's totally worth it. Being like a reprint. Now, there's something about the reprint of it that it's like the original. I even read that back here. It was pretty cool. Actually, this history back here, it's totally worth having just to read that. You get a little Frank Miller art. It was Quesada, man. That guy killed it. It was like a collection. Contains material originally published in magazine form as Marvel Paragon Collection. So yeah, don't know much about that, but I do know I totally enjoyed this issue, especially with Sabretooth being the threat that he is and the way he handled everybody. Classic. We'll take that up later. All new Spider-Gwen. I'm stretching out, man. I'm getting into some different stuff here. Marquez, totally dig the cover. He does not do the pencils. It's Villanelli. Phillips, I was on a ride with her with Grimm, with Flaviano. I think I lasted 18, 19 issues. But this one right here, I think I have a winner here for me. Artwork is on point. Very dark. You have to really get into it. She is finding herself in her life, and there is a Venom-esque type serial killer on the loose, and this could be a good setup to a story arc. I'm not a huge fan of the whole finding yourself type stuff, but sometimes I'll let it go. If it's setting up a story, I get it sometimes. But you know what, man? For the money, sometimes you need to get to it, people. Get to it. Oh, speaking of getting to it, it's been a while since I've read a comic book where I couldn't wait for the next issue. In this offering, I'm a little late to the party. That's why I have an alternate cover. I did order a cover A. They didn't have one at the local comic shop. But Reading this, you are introduced to an evil Illuminati cloned by the Jackal. A very odd pairing, I must say. So, you're introduced to each member of the New Avengers, in a very slow fashion. It's okay. There's a lot of back and forth. I don't mind that. But you get to where you run into the Jackal, and it's kind of like, is he the one that did all this? But they clone the Illuminati, which is a huge threat. So I gobbled up the last two issues, 2 and 3, and just was on it. Artwork is great. So here's your introduction to the cloned evil Illuminati, and they're pretty weird. They do a lot of bro talk. Like, hey, bro, it's kind of weird, but yeah, the Reed Richards one is the most dangerous. So I couldn't wait for the next issue, because at the end of this one, yeah, we'll do the spoilers, man. Like, you were introduced to Black Bolt. So a cloned version of Black Bolt that's probably not all there as far as in the head is extremely deadly, and the Jackal gets his. So when you're left with a cliffhanger like that, I was like, yeah, issue 2, let's read it. So your boy got down on issue 2, and it delivered as well. Man, I'm totally digging this New Avengers. So you get a flashback to how the Jackal gets the DNA. You're not sure. You don't really see who it is. But if you're into the Avengers, I think this is something you should get onto. It is very, even as a speculator, like, this is definitely key issues with this new Illuminati. They are offing them, though, like killing them. But, however, how much cloning was involved? With the Jackal, you can have many. So give you a little rundown of the clones. The Imperious, they have their own names too. So it seems like a powerful one is, they call it Imperious Rex. It's kind of like an octopus type, Namor type thing. So that's the clone of Namor. And it gets inside his head and it bugs him. The Tony Stark clone, pretty much Tony Stark. The Xavier clone is, I suppose they would have to make that clone a little off. That clone actually feeds on telekinetic off minds. So it's not really a true Xavier, I would say. The Stephen Strange is like a hippie who doesn't care about anything, just wants to get out of the situation. But Clea gets involved. She's totally not into that. And she's actually the first one to off one of them, and it's Black Bolt. And I could see, yeah, you'd have to get rid of him first, but man, she just decapitates him. The battle's good. The whole time I'm reading this, I'm like, God, like, what? What is going on with these clones? Like, who would clone them? Why would they clone them? So that makes a great story. When you're asking questions while you're reading a story, it's usually a sign you're on to something pretty decent there. But just me wanting to keep going, man, it's been a while since your boy has been involved in something like that. But I kept going. Bam! I got issue 3. And Namor, actually, so they need to recruit a brain, and they can't trust the Illuminati, to give you more of a review. And so it is agreed upon not to go to the Illuminati, which is pretty much the Avengers. It's like the Fantastic Four. You're excluding a lot of people, which I thought was brilliant as far as the writing goes. So they need to get Bruce Banner. That is someone they can get with. But Banner is in like a hell, chained. I thought they did that very well with the whole him being locked up. But he gives them what they need to do. And that is, you need to stop the Reed Richards clone. He is the most dangerous. However, the team, they're forming, and they kind of go rogue on their own. Like, she just wants to do it, prove to Wolverine she can handle the Hulk. Strange, she senses the other Doctor Strange, and she's just hell-bent on killing him, which really set up a cool thing here where they go to this city, everyone's knocked out. This is the Xavier clone doing his thing, but they run into Carnage, who is now hosted with Eddie Brock. So you have a very interesting mix. So Eddie Brock is trying to keep the clone a good guy. But he is part of the team now, and you have Xavier. So this is where they learn how to defeat Xavier. And actually, it's X-23 that figures it out. That he's just feeding. He feeds to be able to do these blasts. He's not a true, or he just doesn't know enough to be like Xavier, and because he would just wipe them all out. So Clea's not digging this hippie dude. She's ready to take him out. So the team is, there's a lot of team building that has to go on, but running into Carnage was a good thing. So they have a plan, they attack, and they find out how brutal X-23 is. She gives them the snickety snick, takes him out. So they're actually taking out these clones. I don't know, man. I want to see more of them. Hopefully it isn't an issue like that and this is kind of, for some reason, I would love to have this like the original art. Just that smile. There was something weird about that. I don't know. But hopefully it's more than just that, where, okay, here's, the evil Illuminati, dead. Like, that will suck. I want to, but there you go. I'm invested. I'm into it. So here's your mega micro reviews for Marvel. If there's something you're on the fence about, maybe you saw it, man, give me some feedback, and let's get this collaboration going. Outro.